What's going on, everybody? Tucker Bagley and Eliot Shorr-Parks with you live at halftime as the Eagles lead the Lions 13-6 on Sunday Night Football. And Eliot,
Mm.
pretty dismal first half, and maybe that's putting it lightly for the offense. At least the first 27 minutes. I mean, I don't know about you, but in my notes, I had a lot of negative things to say about the offense, and then
Yeah.
after the defense, stumbles for the first time all game, they give up 74 yards on two plays. The offense comes back, and they look like the offense that we've kind of been waiting for, not just all night, but really all season. I mean, it was one of their better drives of the year, and now they carry a 13-6 lead in a halftime. I kind of want to start at the end here. And what was your impression of what we saw from the offense in those last 4 minutes or so?
I mean, it was the best they looked all game, obviously. I do think a lot of the offensive issues early on were self-inflicted. We're going to get into the AJ thing as we always do, but I was very surprised to see what seemed like an extremely intentional effort to get him the ball, like the most it has all year. Frankly, I'm disappointed by that. Not that I don't want AJ to get the ball, but it didn't really work. I mean, he had the third down play where he slipped and caught it. Good play by him. He had the slant here near the end zone, which was good. But outside of that, the short plays him didn't really work. And it felt like for the first time all year, Jalen was looking for AJ as opposed to just going where the ball should go. So I'm sure there's something we'll talk about post game as well. But that was disappointing. Definitely self-inflicted wounds too. Drop passes by Devontae, which is uncharacteristic. Drop pass by Dallas Goedert, which was uncharacteristic. The Saquon drop down the sideline, I don't know if I would characterize that as a bad drop, but certainly a play that was there to be made that they didn't make, a holding call and a long run that pushes them back. It just feels, and look, to their credit, they went down the field at the end when they needed to, but it just really feels like they had a chance for this halftime show to be very different. Early on, they get the turnover from the defense. That should have been a touchdown. I would have gone for it on 4th and 6 near the end zone. They're probably at the 20 or whatever. I would have gone for it there. That was a chance to potentially get a touchdown instead of a field goal. As good as the defense has played, I don't think you can expect them to hold the Lions under 20 points. I like holding them under 20 points would be an outstanding showing from the defense. And they are outstanding and they're playing awesome. But sooner or later, just like AJ said, like the offense needs to do their part. So it's disappointing on a half, not a game, but on a half where the defense was so good. And I think there is legitimate reason to feel this defense has the ability to play like the best defense in the NFL. But on like a half where they were that good, there's no question the main emotion I feel from that first half is just how disappointing the offense was.
Yeah, I mean, to dominate the way they did for the first, whatever it was, 25 minutes, and then you have back-to-back turnovers on downs. They kind of punked Dan Campbell when he went for it there on that fake punt, and the Eagles kept their starting defense on the field and blew it up. They blew up Jahmyr Gibbs on the previous drive when they tried snapping it quickly and running it up the middle. I mean, the defense really kept the momentum going, but the offense really gave it back every
Yeah.
time they had an opportunity to, and it's a game that you kind of talked about in the pregame show, the 49ers game 2 years ago, which kind of had this kind of emotion. The Eagles started that game up 6-0. They struggled in the red zone offensively. They went up 6-0, and then an avalanche of points came
Yep.
from San Francisco. And I think this defense is obviously better than 2023, and that's not going to happen. But it felt like in a game where there was heightened emotion, where the Eagles had the opportunity to seize momentum, they didn't necessarily do that. And they were gifted multiple opportunities by the defense and by Dan Campbell and the Lions for not executing offensively. And they just couldn't come up with it and really, take a bigger lead into halftime.
Well, on a game where there was definitely self-inflicted mistakes by the players, my main takeaway from the half is this is on Sirianni and Patullo. Like I know the players drop passes and ultimately there's nothing they can do about that. This is now 6 quarters of the offense looking pretty bad. They have 23 points over the last 6 quarters. I could get down with 110-7 victory, but if they finish under 20 points again tonight, I know it's cold, it's windy. You probably have a better sense of the wind than I do at the broadcast. All I can really see is the flags, moving around. It certainly seems like it's very windy, but sooner or later, they have all this talent on offense. They got to look better. And let me talk about the forcing the ball to AJ thing. I really don't like it if that's what they're going to do. Like AJ's strength is not how they're getting him the ball. They're doing like little screens for him. They had the 1 yard pass to him in the red zone. That's not his strength. He's not a make guys miss in space guy. He's not an especially fast guy. And if they truly are doing this because of him complaining, I'm super, super disappointed in the team for that. They should be above letting a player kind of bully them into giving him the ball. Like, I think AJ's a good player. I think AJ should be a good player for this team in the flow of the offense. And for the first time all year, it felt like they decided we're not going to do what is there for us. We're going to do what it takes to get AJ the ball on really like uninspiring manufactured touches. I don't know where you fall on it, but it's one thing to try to do it successfully. I don't like doing it in general. Not that I don't want AJ to get the ball, but I don't like going in and doing it that way for sure.
Yeah, and you mentioned like he's not really a screen pass guy. He's not a guy that you get the ball to in the flat. Now the slant they ran by the goal line, that makes a lot of sense. He's a fantastic route
Yeah,
runner on
agreed with
slants.
that.
He's
Yep.
good at deep in routes. He's good at getting the ball down the field. And yeah, just the idea of getting him the ball, it felt almost like college-ish, right? Like we don't trust the
Yeah.
quarterback to get the ball down the field. What we're gonna do is we're gonna get him the ball as quickly as possible and see if he can do something. And
That's not
I
his
don't
game. It's just not what he's good at.
no, and he is good after the catch, but he's good after the catch downfield when he's going against,
Yeah, I don't think he's that great after
undersized.
the catch, to be honest. Like he's fine after the catch. He's a big guy and he can run through people, but he's not like I don't know. The Debo is probably a bad example because he's way better than Debo is as a player. But like Jamison Williams, right? Like I don't think he has that. I don't think AJ has that in him. Like if AJ caught that exact same route that Williams did, I don't think that's a touchdown.
He might have a couple years ago. That might be
Yeah,
a
well, I'm saying
question
right
for
now,
a
like
for a
tonight.
different
Yeah. Yeah.
different pod. But yeah, I mean, as we look at kind of the box score, I think the biggest thing for the Eagles defense right now is how well they've played up front. I thought the defensive
Hmm.
line really picked up where they left off last week. Jalen Phillips got a sack, which I know he gets the headline for that, but Jalen Carter absolutely blew up the right guards at the point where
Yep.
Penny Sewell had to turn and look and just missed Jalen Phillips on the kind of a delayed rush. But defensively, what they've done on third down and fourth down has really, I mean, they've controlled the line of scrimmage for most of the game defensively.
Yeah, it's really only been 2 plays from Detroit, and back to back, unfortunately, leads to the score. I mean, they have the chance to be the best defense in the NFL. The only issue is, and I'm not going to kill Adoree because Adoree is a veteran player on a minimum contract, and Jameson Williams is one of the best receivers in the NFL. That's not a matchup he's supposed to win, but it does speak to they have a clear weakness on this defense, and it is teams are going to attack that second corner spot. Their defensive line is unbelievable. I mean, I know it's just one trade, but you add Phillips, you add Nolan Smith, Ojomo's been better, Jalen Carr's been better. Like they dominated that game at the line of scrimmage. Frankly, I kind of think they dominated at the line of scrimmage on both sides. I didn't feel like the Lions got great pressure on Jalen Hurts. They didn't run the ball particularly well, but it felt like there were plays where Hurts had time in the pocket and they just couldn't do it. What'd you think of not running the tush push on that 4th and 1?
It just felt like them getting cute. It was a weird formation where they had Barkley kind of offset
They love
as
that
the
new
F back.
formation. Yeah.
They used it a bunch last week in Green Bay, but it just you have a play that's unstoppable. I don't know why you wouldn't do it. And it wasn't a situation where you were running him to the outside or you were running Saquon Barkley to space and you were trying to get a big play. You're still running him up the middle lane, and Dickerson kind of got blown up by the tackle there, so that really forced their hand. But yeah, I didn't think it
Mhm.
made sense. Also because that was really their only third and short situation for most of the first half. Like they were in third and deep almost the entire first half, and you finally get in a situation where you excel at, and that's where your offense succeeds. And to kind of go away from your bread and butter, I thought was didn't make much
Well,
sense.
and as I thought maybe they weren't running it because Jurgens is dealing with that knee injury and he's in the game, but they ran it obviously down from the, whatever 1 inch line in the fourth at the end of the half there. So I guess going into the second half, I mean, I just don't really feel good about the offense. Now, we have done halftime shows where we felt bad about the offense and they've come out and been outstanding. It happened against LA, it happened against Minnesota. So maybe there are those adjustments. Maybe the players play better and they put up a lot of points. But man, I mean, I was looking back at 2024 and you look at the points they were putting up at this part of the season. It was like 27, 34, 28, 38. Ironically, or not ironically, but interestingly enough, they have the same amount of games with 30 plus points as they did at this point last year. It felt like the offense was starting to click at this point last year, and it does not feel like the offense is starting to click here. So we'll see what happens in the second half, but I guess I'll pick them to win because they basically never lose. But this offensive half is a big one.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a pivotal 30 minutes against a team that you might see again in the playoffs, and it's a real
Yeah.
measuring stick game against another power in the NFC. So that'll do it for Elliot and myself. Elliot will be back with James, as soon as the game is over right here on YouTube and Twitter to go through what happened, in the second half and the entire game. And then we'll be back again later in the week with the full Go Birds and everything like that. But the Eagles lead the Lions 13-6 at the half. He's Elliot. I'm Tucker. We'll talk